world of colors. I'm Colors. Today we're going to put together the doctor that goes with the medical staff of the Gnomesville Hospital. And this is what he looks like. We've got the two nurses out here, the man and the woman nurse. And this is the doctor that we're going to make that goes along with them. That will complete our medical staff from Gnomesville. So this is what we're going to make today. And I'll be right back with you with your supplies. So it's what we're going to need today to make the Dr. Drake, we're going to call him, gnome, is kind of a surprise ingredient in that we're going to make, we're going to use puppy pads because I got a new puppy, which some of you know, and I found when I got the puppy pads that these were the exact type of material that we needed to make the costumes for our nurses and our doctors. And if you can see, it's just the perfect color blue, and we've got the gauze in the back and to make the hats and the shoes, and it's all just the perfect piece of material to make the costumes for these nurses and doctors. So that's what we're going to use today. And when you cut this out, I'll say this before I make the supplies list while I have this open. I'm measuring, after taking off this little clear piece that goes around the outside of it, I cut that off and then measure the white over, measure on your white side, all the pieces, if you can understand that. So let's go on with what else we're going to use. We're gonna have 2 puppy pads. Okay, so you can buy like a dozen of these at the PetSmart store for like $5. Or maybe you know a friend that's got puppy pads if you don't have them yourself. You just need a couple. You need 2. So what else we have on our supplies list today is someone had asked me about the paint brushes that I'm using when I make the pens to go in their pockets. Just disposable paint brushes. You can get 12 for $1 at the Dollar Tree, and they'll last you a long time. And that's what I'm going to use today to make the pen for Dr. Drake. And then in the craft section of the Dollar Tree, you'll find you can get 4 of these little clip chalkboards in a package for $1. I've already used 2 to make the first Dr. Drake. We'll be making his clipboard out of these. So you need a package of these little chalkboards. And then some little chalk to write on the chalkboard. And then I have the 2 pairs of white socks that come together. The men's 6 by 12 size socks from the Dollar Tree. And 4 by 5 beard. I'm going to use the tan color in the one that I'm making today. And then you want to use the tan 6 by 7 felt squares for the nose and the hands. And then we're going to use 1 of the 4th of July hats that come 5 in a package, but we're just going to use 1 from the Dollar Tree. And then for the ID tags, we're going to use some 4 different colors of stock paper and a hole punch. And we're going to make our ID tags to hang out around his waist. And then on all the medical staff, I've been giving them a heart. And so we're going to give him a heart on his hat. We're going to make the stethoscope out of some picture wire to go around his neck, and we're going to use also a little silver medallion to go down to the black medallion, to go down to the bottom of his stethoscope to complete it. So we've got those 2 pieces. I've got a little bead here that will go on the paintbrush to make the pen that he's holding. And then a little piece of charcoal felt or black felt even, that we're going to make the inserts to make it look like he's got his little pants on rather than make it be a gown. We want it to look like pants. I'm going to use these pink clips that you can get from the craft part of the Dollar Tree. You get six of them for $1. Well worth your money, and I'm going to use those a lot in making him. So also you're going to need some natural colored rubber bands that you can get at the Dollar Tree. Some flat marbles that I buy in bulk from Amazon. You get 5 pounds of these from Amazon for about $15, I think it is. And also you need some polyester fiberfill. So depending on how many gnomes you're going to make, you can buy the polyester fiberfill. You can buy a pillow from Walmart for $2.97 and have a lot of this fiberfill in that pillow and not have to buy a great big amount if you're only going to make a couple gnomes. So I think that's all we have for our supplies besides our glue sticks and some hairspray. And I'll be right back with you to start making this gnome today. So I just wanted to tell you briefly how we're going to cut the puppy pads. How you need to cut. You want to open them all up and disregard this little edge here that I've cut off. I'm going to use this to tie it around his wrists so you don't see the rubber bands on the wrist. So it's a good thing to keep a couple of these pieces for his wrists. Cut those off. And then you want to cut a 19 by 7 inch piece. A 19 by 7 inch piece. That will be his costume, his base for his costume. And then we want 2 7-inch by 7-inch pieces for his sleeves. And we want a 7-inch by 2-inch piece that we're going to fold in half to make the band around his hat. And then we want 2 7 by 7-inch pieces to make his feet. So, and then what takes you into the second puppy pad, this is what you could all do with one puppy pad, but with the second puppy pad, you want to make a 10 by 10 piece that we're going to use for the hat. That being said, I'm going to be right back, clear this off, and we'll get started on this hat. Okay, the first thing I want to do is make the hat, and hopefully this hat doesn't take as long as our normal hats. It seemed to go pretty fast for me the first time I made it. What we want to do is take one of the 4th of July hats, and we want to cut the rim off of it and save the elastic. Save the elastic for the face mask, for his face mask, which I failed to mention in the supplies, but just save a piece of your puppy pad material for his face mask when we're making that. So I'll put that elastic aside because we're going to need it. And then go ahead and cut the rim off the hat. We don't want any of the part of the hat that makes a rim. We want it to be all straight down. If you see any part after you cut it that sticks out, just go back around and clean it up a little bit so it doesn't stick out like that. We're going to be taking the paper off, so don't be concerned about that. So you can throw away that part. I'll throw away the piece of paper that's on it. I did buy some extra 4th of July hats. Actually, I bought 10 extra packages because these are a really good base for the Gnome hat. They're really a good size for it, so you can convert this into many different kind of hats. And so I thought, well, I don't, you know, after 4th of July, you're not going to be able to get this particular hat. So I did go ahead and get 10 packages of them that I'm going to be using throughout the year for different gnomes. I want to put a little bit of fiberfill on the top of this. We don't want it to be flat and the edges just show. We want it to be more of a round type look on it. We want to put a little bit of fiberfill right on the top before we cover it up. Not a whole lot, so we don't want it to be real tall. Just put a little bit of fiberfill right there. Tack it down so it'll stay in place while you get the material on there. And then you want to put your 10-inch piece down on that. You want to put the points out to the sides and the front and the back. And then you want to start, lay that down. And then you want to start just putting your points in. And then going around and adjusting them like that. You just want it to look like it's a little drawstring hat. Just keep adjusting them with the little pink pins until you get it just right. And after you get it just right, you can start gluing it. That looks pretty good. So then you want to go around with your glue. I'm going to take 2 off so I can get my hands in there. And just start gluing it down. Lift that material up and just glue it back down. It's actually pretty easy. This one is a pretty easy hat. Let that set up for a minute and I'll be right back with you. So we got the hat all set up here. It's all glued and set up, and I looked at the front and the back, and decided which side I wanted to make the front of his hat. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this band around the front with it's a 7" by 2" piece. You just fold that in half with a little glue in the middle to make the band. I kind of got ahead of myself there at break. So anyways, you take your little band and you want to put the raw side down, the folded side towards the top, and we just want that about halfway over on the hat. I'm not trying to do all the way around, just halfway around. So just do it like that. Hold it in your one hand. Put your glue on. Go halfway. And you want it to come down a little bit over the edge of the hat so you don't see the white at the bottom. You can use your clips for that too. And while that's setting up, we can put the heart on. Just want to put a little glue on the heart. Just the heart idea, just to kind of connect them all, the caring heart that they must have to do that kind of work to be able to do it. I gave them all a heart. That kind of connects them as a team. And then I want to go and trim off that extra bit that we have a little bit extra on the band, and trim that off. Like that, and then I'll go and glue that very end. I want the glue gun. So we take off the pins now. And the doctors at least used to wear the little reflective mirrors on the front of their hats. So that's what I want to put on now, is that little reflective mirror. It's just a little sequin piece that I'm using the mirrored back of. And putting it on the center of the front. And the hat is finished. That'll be all ready for us to put on when we get to that stage. We'll put it off here to set up. Now the next thing we want to do is make the body. And that's pretty simple to do. You just want to open your package of socks that you got at the Dollar Tree or wherever you did get them. And we're just going to use one set of the socks for this gnome. We're going to make a 10-inch body, and then we want these arm pieces. We're going to use these pieces for the arms, for the, not the sleeves, but the arms. And that'll make, when you stuff these and make them into arms, this will be the part that you attach to the body, and this will become a cuff to his arm where you put your hand in. So you don't have to worry about sewing the cuff. It'll already be there for you. So we'll put those aside, and we're going to make this into a body. I always double these up. I try to get the seams together here. And then I put flat marbles in them. In the bottom. I always think I do put too many flat marbles in there, but that's how many I always put in. And then I fill it up with the polyester fiber fill. And what I'm trying to do is make a 10-inch body. Usually, if I'm not going to put height in it and use the pot of gold shoes, if I'm just going to use a flat shoe, then I'll go with a 10-inch body. I'm going to keep doing this till I get it to a 10-inch body, and then I'm going to fasten the top, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've got the body stuffed. Got the marbles in the bottom. They stuffed to as close as 10 inches as I could get them with the material that I had. It might be 9.5 inches. So if that's what you come up with, that's what I came up with too. Then I want to make the arms, and these are 7-inch pieces that I'm starting out with to make the arms. It all makes sense with the measurements that we have of the puppy pads that we've cut. The sizes that they are and the sizes of the costumes all make sense. So anyways, we're going to put some stuffing in the arms. And you don't want to put a whole lot in there, but on him, on Dr. Drake, I did put a little bit thicker than what I normally do, just for the shape of his body. I didn't want him to be long and narrow. I wanted him to have a little bit of bulk to his arms. So I did put a little bit extra in there. Not very much, but a little bit. I'll show you. About like that, which is a little bit bouncier than we usually do. And this is what you want to do, is you want to take your rubber band and fasten the top, the raw edge there. And fasten it right on the edge. I think I got a big rubber band that time. And you just take another natural colored rubber band and do around the cuff. This is where the hand's going to go. You want to leave about that far out on your cuff. And we're going to cut this little extra bit of polyester fiber fill that sticks out, so it's nice and clean for the hand to go in there. And that's how you make your arm. I'll take a break right now, do the other arm, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do the nose and hands. So I've got the arms made. They're all ready for their hands. We're going to go ahead and make the nose and hands now and get those done. The nose and hands are all made the same way. Use your 5x6 or 5x7 piece of felt. And you want to put a little polyester fiber fill in there. Put it right in the center. And then just use your thumb to push that right up. And pick a rubber band to fasten it up. Like that for your nose. And then you want to take your scissors and cut off the extra felt. And I'm using the tan felt. You can use whatever color you want to use. And I'll be right back with you. I'm going to make the two hands, and that I just made exactly like the nose. I'll make the two hands and I'll be right back with you. So I've got the hands and nose all made, and we're going to glue on the nose next. We're just going to put some glue right at the bottom of the nose right there. And glue it right where that stub is. And I'm going to let that set up. I'll be right back with you. So I've got the nose glued on there, and what I want to do is glue the hands into the cuffs next on the arms. So we just want to put some glue around the bottom of the hand, a little bit around the rubber band, all the way around. And then you just want to put it right in the center where the cuff goes, where the cuff is, and then hold it on there until it's set up. These I just hold on for about a minute, and then I let them harden off by themselves while I do the next one. We're going to go ahead after I get these hands glued in right here real quick and put the sleeves on. Unlike the nurses, the doctor has sleeves on his arms in his costume. So we're going to do the sleeves next on that. Let me get the other hand glued in. And hold that for a minute, and then we're going to get started on these 7-inch sleeves. I just love that material that we found for the to make the costumes for these doctors and nurses. This is perfect. It really is. It was just an accident that I found it when I bought puppy pads for my new puppy, and I pulled those out and said, "Oh, this is exactly what I've been looking for." Okay, so we got the hands glued on there. And what we want to do is take these 7-inch pieces, flip them over so you see the white, and then just, you want to put your sleeve on there, your arm on there, so it's just at the edge of the sleeve. You just have the hand hanging out. And then just roll that up. And you just want to put your glue right on your edge. making sure that it's not out too far because you don't want it to get oozing out on you. And then just roll that up and let it set up. After it sets up like that, it looks like that. You want to take a rubber band and wrap it around it right where you could feel the rubber band below it on the arm. Wrap it up like that. And take your big scissors and trim that down. And then we want to do the second one the same way. Now I'm going to do that, and for the sake of the time on our video, I'm going to do this without showing you the second one. I'll be right back. Got both the arms finished, and I want to glue them on now. And how we're going to do that is we're going to make sure that they're trimmed out nicely at the top here. If you've got extra at the end here, trim them down to maybe a quarter of an inch, a third of an inch, something in that area, because there's not a lot of room back here to have them hanging up down real low, real long. So we're going to glue them on the back of the stub, and we're going to try to get it to where the seam is going down, not out straight or in the back, but going down. So that's where the seam is. So that's where I'm going to put the glue. And I'm just going to put it down. I'm going to hold this one like this and let it set up. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other one, making sure to put the seam down. And I'll be right back with you. So I've got the arms glued on now. They're still setting up a little bit, but while I do that, I want to make the feet and the little scrubbies. So I made one. I didn't even cut it off to clean it up yet. I just got it made, and I'm going to make another one with you. So you want to put your blue side up. And take your polyester fiber fill. And put it in the center. It's like we make the nose and the hands, but the difference is the feet are a lot more loose. That'll be about right. I was loosening it up till I got the right size to match. And then you just want to put your rubber band on there. Not real tight. And then I trim them off, make them a little neater, not too short because we have to have something to glue onto the bottom of the body. And then take them, and you want to put the glue on there and just set the body right on the glue. Put the glue on the rubber bands and then set the body right on the glue. And let it set up. So you kind of want to tip them together and too, because you don't want the the outside showing on the outside of the body. So kind of tip them in like that. Put your glue on. A good amount of glue on both of them. Tip them in like that. And then I'm just going to put the body right on there. And I've got to let that set up for a few minutes, so I'll be right back with you. Now the next thing I want to do is put his costume on. It'll become a top and bottom once we get it on there. I also wanted to mention that on his body, it was a question whether I was going to need to put the extra flat marble on the back of his bottom to keep him balanced good when you set him down and pick him up. There was a question because he was standing pretty good, but no, it looks like we're going to put one on the bottom in the back, and he'll stand up a little bit better. He's kind of leaning back. So I'm going to leave the flat side down on the marble, put some glue on there, and just put it right on the middle of his back. Right in the middle of his back like that. And he stands up a lot better that way. So, and you could even use 2 of those if you need to, depending on how yours is going. You want to take this 19 by 7 inch piece. Now I held it up to this. I could only get my body about 9.5 inches, which I wanted to get it 10, but I just didn't have enough material for some reason on this side. So it's at about 9.5 inches. That might be your case too. So what I did was I held this 19-inch piece up to him, and I'm going to cut a hole in it right here, which is going to drop it a little bit, but I come right to the surface, and I don't want it to be quite that low. I'm going to take off I think it's going to come down to about that low. I'm going to take off about a 1/2 inch off of this. This is a 19-inch piece, so that'll make it a 18-inch piece. If I take off a 1/2 inch on both sides, it'll make it an 18-inch piece to go on a 9.5 inch body, so that makes sense. So we'll just cut it a 1/2 inch off the bottom. We'll see how that works. And then what I want to do is fold it in half. Cut a small little circle in the top. It's about this big. Enough to take over the nose and the stump area. And bring that down. And that's plenty of costume length. And we're going to take our pink clips and clip it and glue it in place. So I just want to lay them down. Get a little bit more of the stub in here. There it is. Okay, now we just want to lay them down and bring the corners together. and pin them off on both sides. And make sure you get those corners right together so they're not uneven. I think I will let a little out here. You want to glue about that far from the bottom. So let's get started gluing. Just take that corner right together like that. Get that off. Use a little bit more glue here. And this puppy pad material is really easy to work with. I like it much better than cotton. Of course, I like felt the best. We'll let this side set up a little bit. This side should be finished. I'm going to let this side set up and I'll be right back with you. So I've got the costume part set up. The next thing I wanted to do while we still had room to do it was, I forgot to mention in the beginning that we're going to use this large rubber band around his waist to hold his ID cards. And when you buy the miscellaneous package of rubber bands, usually you'll get a couple of these large ones, and that's where this came from. And I'm going to just put that around his waist before I go any farther so I can get it around there. This is like the top of his pants, and it's also what's going to hold his ID tags. So I take it, put it around there like that, and cut it. Tie it. And then you want to take the ID tags I've got 4 different pieces of stock paper that I cut the corners off of. You just put those together. Cut your hole in them, and then put them on here for his ID tags. That is what I did, was I opened them up a little bit. Not really a lot, about like that. And I put little dabs of glue in between the cards. So they would stay open a little bit so you could see that they're different colored and that there's more than one. Not like that. So he's got his ID tags on now. And the next thing I wanted to do was put his beard on. Now when we're getting ready for his beard, I always start by forming the mustache. You want to flip it over. This is a 4x5 beard. You want to flip it over and you want to just glue the corners up and in like that, just like that, to make the shape of the beard more rounded and not square. So just do it up like that on both sides of the bottom. And then you want to take it and fold it in half. And clip it down about 1 inch. I'm going to clip mine a little bit more. I don't think quite 1 inch there. And then we're going to glue it on. We're just going to take it and glue it right around here. We're gonna glue the sides right to the stub. We want to be able to glue the hat on and have it cover the edges of the beard. So we're gonna glue it right around there like that. So that's a good length to be able to still see the ID cards. And you want to start shaping his beard. I have a little comb here that I use to get his mustache out with there where I want it. And I'll spray that with some hairspray before we're finished. It'll hold it up where we want it. So the next thing that I want to do is glue down his arms a little bit. I don't want them that. What you want to do is you want to put a little glue right on the inside of his arm, and then hold that down and let that set up. And then I'm going to do that to the other side, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so now we've got the beard on there. We're getting down there to just this many things left that we have to do to them to get them done. So I've got my piece of little charcoal felt that I told you we were going to use. And we would just need to take and cut a little very slim Christmas tree shape out of it. Like that. And what we want to do is put that down the middle of the front of him to make it look like he's wearing pants. You want the wide end of it to be right at the hem of his pants. I'm just going to do this in 2 parts. There, I got that on there. Now I'm going to glue the top piece. Right down the middle. So now he looks like he's wearing pants. These 2 little tabs that come out, I also would glue those down. Because he's got his scrubs on. Isn't that what they're called? Does anybody know what the mirror reflector on his hat is called? Because we've talked about it. Nobody knows in my circle what that's called. So if you know what that reflector mirror on the front of his hat that we're about to put on is called, leave it in the comments because we'd like to know. We'd appreciate it. Okay, so now it looks more like he's got pants on. And so the next thing I want to do is put his hat on. The long-awaited hat that gives him so much character. Is what we're going to do is we're going to put a little glue right on the back of his nose. And then just glue the center of the hat, which is where the little mirror is. You see the beard has already lost its shape. If you don't put the firm holding hairspray in there, it just doesn't keep its shape very long at all. It's really a good added step. I'm going to have that right there. Now there's 2 other places that I do this hat, and it's right on the top of the arm. I'm going to go right inside the hat and just drop a piece of glue in there, set the hat down. And on the other side, you just want to go inside the hat, a couple pumps of glue there, and drop it down. And now the whole hat's setting up. So I'm going to be right back with you. That the hat is all glued on and set up, we're going to make his mask. And I just took a little 7-inch piece of that puppy pad material, and I'm going to fold it up like they do the mask. And then just stick some glue in there so it'll hold its shape. Can you see what I'm doing there? And then what I did with the elastic that we saved from the hat is I tied a double knot in each end of the elastic. And we're just going to put a drop of glue on there. And I'm going to put that right on the end of the mask. If you don't have the little knot to put the drop of glue on, you're trying to do it on just the little tiny thin piece of elastic, you're going to probably burn yourself. So it helps if you have the little knot to have a destination to go to with your glue. So now I'm going to do the other one. I thought you could hang it with the blue or white side hanging out with this mask. Whatever happened to be hanging out when he pulled it off his face. So I thought the blue side turned out nicer than the white side. So the blue side's going to be out. Make sure that's set up. And then just bring it around. Pull it off to the side. That's about where it would hang. And then the next thing we want to do is do the stethoscope. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Stethoscope. I took some picture hanger wire. Let's see if we can do this without getting it all tangled. Now the picture hanger wire that I did for this Dr. Drag up here is a little thicker. And then when I went to find some more, it ended up being thinner. So it's going to be, we'll cut it off at the ears to fit it. But, so we want to take it and make the round part at the very beginning, at the bottom, fold it in half. Make the round part that this is going to go on. That part. And then I just twisted it up to make it like a straight area. And then made these each side would go to his ears. So then I would take and measure it down to see where we wanted it to fall. Right about there. So I need to take off quite a bit. I don't like using those scissors to cut that. I'll be right back. You want to cut it out right about there on both sides. And we can glue on the black piece. And then we just want to kind of bend that down. And then just glue that up inside the hat a little bit. go. Now the next thing we want to do is add the two details in both hands. And what I had came to mind to do on this, on Dr. Drake, was to get him a clipboard on one hand and a pen on the other hand, where he's writing his information down before he's maybe got to do an operation or something. So that's what I want to make next. What I did was I took the two chalkboards from the Dollar Tree package that we got the 4 chalkboards in, and I just broke off the back, on the back, the this one's not going to break off as easy as I want it to. There it goes. Then you take these two pieces here, you got the two chalkboards, and you glue them together. Just make sure clipboard. And then you want to take half of one of the clothespins and glue it to the top. I actually painted mine silver. You can go back and do that too. Not necessary, just an extra step. And then I glued the chalkboard like he's holding it in his hand. And I chose to put the letters on with chalk after I did that, so I didn't get them all smeared up. So you want to put some glue on that, about like that, and put it on there like he's holding the clipboard. And let that set up. And the next thing we're going to do is make a pen in here. I did glue the bottom tip of this chalkboard to his costume, like that. So let me let this set up and I'll be right back with you. So I've got his chalkboard attached and it's all set up. And I was working on his mustache, bringing it out from behind the stethoscope and the mask. And I wanted to spray that with some spray. And get that mustache established a little bit better there. And that spray really works. It holds it a lot better. So then we want to make the pen out of this disposable brush. You just want to, we're going to put it on like that with some glue. This is like the top of the pen. I'm going to score it a little bit around the top of that bead, and it comes right off. And then you can use the top of that brush wherever it just went and paint something. Maybe paint the clothespin on this chalkboard silver. Okay, so I'm going to put this pen in his other hand. We're almost finished with this gnome. I just ran out of glue. Okay, we're going to put the pen in his other hand. Because I can just see him coming in and asking y'all a lot of questions and having his clipboard to write all the answers down on. And so that's why I came up with a clipboard for the doctor. This is a completion of our Gnomesville medical staff from the Gnomesville Hospital. The last thing we need to do is put some words on his clipboard, chalkboard. And he's finished. I hope you liked the video today. Hope you got all the way through it. And I'm glad you could join us and spend some time with us today. And if you liked us, subscribe and make sure to hit the like button. So thanks a lot. Have a good day.